Yeah, just first win, or first game. That was a great win for our team. I mean, played extra inning ball game, first one of the year. Got out of a jam there in the top of the 10th, and then found a way to win that game in the bottom of the 10th. It was I had a lot of momentum, and I just felt like by coming back and winning that game, got a big 2-out hit by Wise, to tie that thing up, and just the way it all went down, I thought the second game would be a game that might maybe be tight, but I figured we'd win the ball game. Just the way the first game ended, and give credit to Auburn and really their starter who came out and just filled up the strike zone. When anytime the wind's blowing straight in 20 miles an hour like it did tonight, I mean I would say there was one home run and there would have been maybe 8 today. Maybe 9. I think Anderson would have had 3. I think Fisher might have had 2. And their catcher would have had 3. He got 1. And I'm sure probably they had another 1 or 2 in there. But when you get behind like we got behind when the wind's blowing straight in your face, it's tough to come back. It's hard to piece that many hits together. You got whenever the guys are throwing over the plate, and that was our downfall game too. The first 3 innings we walked 2 and hit 1, 6 free passes, mixed in with 4 or 5 hits, and a pickoff that was thrown away, and a double steal play that was botched. All of a sudden we find ourselves down 7 runs, and they kept a good attitude in the dugout, kept fighting, battling, and but we knew that it was going to take Auburn breaking down, or they getting wild, or getting enough hits to come back. It was going to be tough, but it was a long day, and disappointed we didn't win the second game.
I feel the emotion just kind of went out of them after the first game, or
no. I mean, really, what happened was they scored 4 runs there in the 3rd inning or 4th, whatever that was, and the 3rd inning when we get 2 outs. And he hits a batter, and he gives up a bomb. All of a sudden, we're down 3. That was a little difficult. And then the next inning, come out, walk a couple people, and I mean, our bullpen did a great job. But we got behind early. You can't walk people in this league. One here and there, but. You walk 2 in an inning and you hit a guy and stuff like that. Well, rallies are going to happen, and sure enough, what usually happens is they're right in the meat of their order, and that's kind of what happened to us, and they got their hits.
Beeks and Al been so good most of the year. I guess Beeks didn't throw badly, but obviously it was a kind of atypical start for Oliver. What did you think of starting pitching in both games?
Well, Beeks to me. His stuff was pretty good here and there, and then he started. He threw a few good breaking balls. He just made a mistake or two, and it happens. And they're a good hitting team. I mean, they're hitting 280 something as a team, and that's pretty good in this league. They've got a couple seniors in that lineup and a couple of other kids that swing it well, especially up top. Their top of the order hitters are tough. So. Anyway, Oliver, I mean, it's self-explanatory. It was not a good outing for him. I really don't want to comment on it. I mean, just too many free passes, behind in the count, and just didn't command the strike zone at all.
The 6th doubleheader you played this year, just how do you remember a year like this? How tough is that?
We've had 5 now, but I don't know. In league play, we played 2 or 3.
I think
yeah,
6 doubleheaders on the year.
6? Oh, that's great. It's 12 games. That's a pretty good portion of the season. It's just the way it is. They're tough. It'd been nice to go home with a win that first game, sleep on it, come back on Sunday and play. But obviously that wasn't the agreement, and that's the way the weather is. And I hope it rains all day tomorrow.
You guys had so many tough, low-scoring losses. To get tied up in the 8th and win in the 10th, how big was that?
It was huge. I mean, it was huge for our team. Big momentum, like I said earlier. That's why I was surprised that the second game went the way it went. But it started with just giving them too many free passes. They took advantage of it. A lot of times, sometimes you can wiggle out of that and you get a double play ball, but it didn't happen tonight. They kept punching in runs that that they earned them, but they got on base. Most of them were on base with base on balls.
Fifth straight year, Auburn's beaten you in a series.
Yeah.
Is that just weird? Is that just the way it is in baseball sometimes?
Who knows? Yeah, I guess it is. But, we got 10 games left, 9 conference games, and told our team we need to finish strong. We need to get after it somehow, some way. I mean, we got to go on the road for the next 4 ball games, and we got 3 more at home and then 3 more on the road. See what happens.
Tough game, Missouri State on Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, we play at 4, a little different. They're always scrappy, and the games we play with them are usually tight. Nice ballpark. Looking forward to heading up there.
Phillips pitch probably, or who do you?
No, we'll start Poche.
Tyler, a big hit for him. I mean, he
Huge.
struggled a little bit.
Did a great job. Stayed inside that ball and just drove it into the wind. And when it left the bat, we felt like the game was over. It's going to be a sac fly at a minimum, and then to get over his head, that was nice. But that was just a great job of going up there and hunting a good pitch. And I don't know if they felt like that we were going to take a pitch, but he got him a good pitch and he hammered it.
The Alberius thing worked out pretty nicely, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job. I was giving him a pitch to hit, and then it was a strike. We decided to bunt, and then just said, "Hey, let's just let him hit." He's thinking about Josh. He doesn't get too uptight, and I could kind of tell by the way he was moving around that he was ready to take a swing. And we already, the way it was going, maybe so we can drive him over.
Missouri State, is that a good series for you guys? Do you like playing them? It's pretty close.
Well, they're a couple hours, 2.5 hours away. I mean, we're playing them once a year, home and away. Just either like next year they'll come here. Yeah, I mean the games are always, like I said, they're always real competitive, and usually go down to the wire. I can remember a few of them that the game that stands out most to me was when Eibner went up there and we got 2 hits. Eibner hit 2 solo home runs and pitched a shutout. We kind of joked about it the way back. We only needed 8 guys in Eibner to go on that trip, and but there's been some really good ball games with them.
Final midweek game, just the importance of trying to get back on track.
Yeah, I mean, you just want to win. Obviously, I'm sure like they do. It's nice to win in the middle of the week, and we'll head back and practice on Wednesday, and then head to Oxford on Thursday. So. And they've been awfully good. I saw where they just got after Kentucky again on the road again today. They're scoring a lot of runs. They might have them or Kentucky, I guess statistically probably have the 2 best offenses in the league.
I feel like the conference race just keeps tightening up. It seems like.
Well, it's funny that I've said that I feel like the pitching in this league is as good as it's ever been, and just talking with the umpires. Before the second game, we were standing around at home plate because we've already gone over the ground rules and all of that. It's just kind of there to exchange lineups. There's a couple of veteran umpires in there made the comment that they've been doing it for a long time. They said this is they've seen the best that they've seen the league and the most balance they've seen the league in 20 years.